All right, what's up, everybody? I usually do this, and I'm not sure what to talk about. We usually just kind of freestyle it, but I kind of had on my mind the process of reinventing yourself, and the reason why people feel like they need to do that. I mean, once you get to a point where you feel like you need to completely change what you're doing in your lifestyle, most likely you're at some kind of you're in some kind of rut where things don't feel right. Things don't feel like they're going how they should. You don't feel right. You don't feel good. You don't feel like, things are working out, I guess. And you need something to change. Sometimes you're really not sure what. Sometimes you are, and maybe you're just afraid of something, afraid of changing things. I think that's been my biggest issue is really I didn't understand it until recently, but fear. Like, I didn't realize I was afraid of, and I really don't even know what I'm afraid of. I don't know, but I learned somewhere, I heard somebody talking about it. It was a long time ago, but really that the only two emotions that we have, the only two true emotions are love and fear. Every other emotion is like a sub emotion that stems from one of those two. It's like insecurity, anxiety, uh, maybe even depression, stem from a fear of something. Uh, insecurity. Like, man, I'm insecure about my, I don't know, back hair. I don't want to take my shirt off at the beach. I'm scared of people seeing that part of me that I don't want them to see, that I'm uncomfortable with. It's a fear, right? Insecurity is linked to fear. All the other, sub emotions, like on the love side, like you've got basics, like happiness, um, being excited, like they all stem from a love of something. Just the essence of loving. So those two emotions are extremely powerful, and you need to understand when you're feeling which one. And maybe like understanding that, not just saying that, man, I have anxiety about walking into large groups of people. Okay, yeah, but that anxiety is stemming from a fear of something that you're afraid of. When it comes to, like, this example here, walking into a big group of people, some kind of social anxiety, there's a fear there. You might not even know what the fear is. I have this all the time. I don't know what I'm afraid of, specifically when it comes to change. I've looked at myself and reflected and come to terms with the parts of me that I don't like, that just aren't very good qualities, that need to change, like that need some reinventing. But there's something that's just blocking. Like, it's like a mental block where there's just a whole lot of things that I think like go into it. Like some people just chalk it up to like laziness. Like, you don't want to make take the steps required. And that could be part of it. Like, for me, I know I've always been in my head a lot, like, just starting the YouTube thing. Like, I'm worried about what people are going to think, what they're going to say, how they're going to judge me or think about me. And that has been totally crippling in life. Like, if I was to go back and make myself aware of that earlier in an effort to not get into that, like, mentality, I would 100 times. Because it's depressing. What's really depressing is the regret you have later of knowing you could have, but you didn't. That's regret. Now, there's some things that you wish would have went a certain way or wish could have happened in some way, but things were just out of your control. I can live with that. We can live with that. But what we can't live with is knowing we could have done it different, but we didn't. That's what eats me up. That eats me up every day. But there's still time. I always feel like there's always still time. And that possibly may be even a reason why we procrastinate doing anything to begin with. We feel like we got time. And we do have time, but we don't have time. Life is short. Our prime moves past us very quickly. So you just gotta start doing something. If you want something to be different, you gotta do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So we can't keep doing that. Why do we do that? I can't speak for everybody, but I know I do that. Like, thinking that one day things are just going to fall into place without doing anything different to make it so. It's just unrealistic, man. And I'm victim of that mentality 100%. These are the kind of mental blocks, like mental thoughts, that will keep you stuck, that will keep you from leveling up and moving forward in life, learning new skills, building new relationships, and just improving your life in general. So, what I would say, back to reinventing yourself, I would say my biggest point in reinventing myself would be learning how to build and maintain good relationships, quality relationships with other men, specifically. I've never been good at that. I've always been very secluded. I'm going to keep to myself because really the reason why I started thinking about it recently, but talked to somebody about it, that I'm really just two different people. Like, I'll be myself. I can be myself when I'm by myself. But when I get around other people, I'm not really going to let people in. I'm not going to show people who I am. I'm not going to try to get too close. I think that's maybe just a protective, thing for me. Maybe it's like a trauma thing, like protecting you from, I don't know, having your, trust broken, or, feeling betrayed or something. I think that really is, a defense mechanism that I've just lived my whole life with, that I never addressed, or never really even understood that it was a problem, or, I was doing that, But now here we are, 27, 30's coming up, And we don't really have any friends. We know people, but we don't really have any friends. We don't hang out with anybody. We don't really do much. And I feel like our generation is just kind of overall depressed, hopeless, afraid. Not that we are hopeless specifically, but we feel that way. Like, how do we even get to the end of this rat race with a little bit of dignity and all of our sanity, you know? I gotta get better at all these pauses. I know all this empty space is probably terrible for a video, but I'm still figuring out what's, this is my third long form video, so give me a break. But if you want to reinvent yourself, just do it. You gotta take the steps. You can't get caught up on these blocks, like these fears. I need to be active in this myself, but it definitely requires some discipline, which I've never had. Working on it. I've been hitting the gym. Definitely have fell off, like, on the consistency. That's the thing, like, just discipline and consistency. Like, if you can get those two down, like, if you can just pick something, like, let's go to the gym, or let's do, this is what we're gonna eat every day. You can't, this has been my big problem, is, like, you can't say shit like that because you're teaching yourself that it's okay not to accomplish what you said you were going to accomplish. And after years and years and years of that, you will probably be very low on confidence. You probably aren't even making goals anymore. And if you are, you definitely aren't sticking to them. I mean, if I tell myself I'm going to cut the grass tomorrow and I don't cut the grass tomorrow for no reason other than I just didn't want to, I lied to myself. I compromised myself. I compromised my integrity, my honesty to myself. It's not good. So, anything you take away from this video is don't lie to yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Don't beat yourself. If you want to be your best self, go be it. Go be your best self. There's nothing stopping you but you. And the fears. Remember the fears. The only two emotions are love and fear. Anything else you think you're feeling is connected to it. So figure out what you're afraid of. If you feel one of those fear emotions, figure out what you're afraid of. That's the only way you're going to get past it. You got to acknowledge it, understand it, conquer it. Yo. All right, y'all. Later.